In this final episode of Depraved, we're going to take a look at Nerd Night and Nerd Night Outpost. And we're going to go over what we did to get where we're at. And we're starting right now. Welcome to the Double E Show. Bad strategy, horribly simulated. What's going on, everybody? Jim73 back with the Double E Show. It's Depraved. Welcome back, everybody. It's the finale. We're in Nerd Night. Bustling little boom town. Got plenty of stuff going on here. I just want to do a quick overview or an overlook of the town itself. So as you remember, we plopped down our town hall and then we started putting up some shacks. Now, got great loads of tips and tricks from Tony, who comments frequently, and Nerd of Anarchy, who commented frequently. You guys were invaluable in a lot of aspects of building this town. And I want to thank Tony for coming up with the name Nerd Night. It's an amalgamation of Nerd of Anarchy and Tony's screen name, Oath Night, or I believe it is. And yeah, so I mean, we really spread out in the town really good. Now, we did a couple of upgrades to the town hall, which expanded, a couple of expansions to expand our working area, and it allowed us to do a lot more. And through some of the updates, they nerfed the farming a little bit to keep it from having to micromanage. They realized that the placing of crop fields took up a lot of space on the map. And I think, there has to be a slightly better balance in this. But what they've done with the farms is, instead of having to switch your crops per season, farm automatically does it. So the farm will automatically produce the goods needed in winter, which is like potatoes, I believe it is, for your distillery. And then in the spring, it was another vegetable for another process, and then it was corn to feed your livestock, your sheep and your pigs and your cattle if you had it. So, I mean, it's cool that the crops automatically rotate, but there should be a little bit more involvement in it. Hopefully that's something they'll fix in their, in their roadmap, to kind of do that balance of in between. I like the automatic crop rotation, but they're going to be adding grain silos, which I think is great because that's specific storage for what you're growing in your fields. So that's what it was. Wheat and corn were the other two, I believe. And so you'll be able to store your grains in silos rather than taking up your warehouses and whatnots. So, as we built on to Nerd Night, we realized that there was going to be a lot of stuff that wasn't resource possible right out here in Nerd Night. We had iron, coal, and stone that was really close by. And if we expanded Nerd Night one more time, we could hit the gold and copper in the mountain nearby, but we had already expanded Nerd Night pretty extensively. And I mean, not for nothing, it was cool having Nerd Night Outpost pop up. And I'm actually going to bring the display back up. Nerd Night Outpost was founded for the simple reason that we needed the river to get fish so we could get to the merchant level. And they had gold and copper right nearby. And look at the tracks. I love that. They're circumferencing the mountain. So we were able to access this area and start producing some more advanced goods, jewelry, things like that. And now, we have 7 jewelry sitting in stock, and we've got gold ore and copper ore, and in here we've got plenty of food and water. They're doing fine. I don't even remember. I think I put in a single well over here. Yeah, I put in a single well, and even though I shipped some water over, they're producing enough water by themselves that they really don't need all this excess water. But we got good plank production over here in Nerd Night. It's a nice layout. Let me do this real quick. So I want to make sure that all the people that are supposed to have horses have horses, and it looks as though they do. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to sell off all these excess horses because that's cash money. And I mean, we're sitting at 10 grand right now. We're getting $235 a tick between the two locations. So let's do the city overview. Nerd Night Outpost, the mood was always good. We didn't have any problems with anybody here. Crime rate was always really low. I think that's fantastic. We've got $485 a tick for buildings, but we're bringing in $714 in house rentals. So we have a surplus there. And then we're spending $125 a tick on our, whatchamacallits there, gunslingers and our tower workers. I'm not sure when you put these people up in the watchtower whether you have to pay them. It doesn't say. It just doesn't say. So that's free guards right there. So back to the overview. So we are bringing in a total of 104, which means that we're doing 131 over in Nerd Night. Which, if we look, right there we are. So in Nerd Night, we have $1,050 that we're paying out in all the buildings, but we're bringing in $1,356 in house rentals between the shacks for the pioneers, the simple houses for the settlers, and the apartment buildings now for the merchants. Excuse me, over there. Says we have 7 merchants. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Unpause. Pause. There we go. Yeah, so we just have pioneers over here in Nerd Night Outpost. But taking a look at it, it gives us a plus of the 131. And again, in Nerd Night, 100% happy, no crime. Now, we did have the one hunter get upset. In the entire playthrough, one hunter got upset. Very fortunate of that. Now, for goods in Nerd Night, we have plenty of stuff. I mean, we just have plenty of stuff. We have, we have one log, but we got 111 planks. We've got a bunch of stone. We got metal parts in. We've got tons of meat. We got a lot of water. I just turned a well back on over there, too. The firewood, I mean, listen, 141 coats? Come on, son. We could sell a bunch of these. They sell for 120. We could make a ton of money. In fact, no, I'm not going to do it. I was going to say, let me play some more. Yeah, so I mean, Nerd Night has plenty of goods. And then Nerd Night Outpost, obviously, here's where we have the gold ore and the jewelry and that stuff. So we got 6 copper ingots. Let me actually see this guy, see if he loads up anything. What's he load up? He loads up nothing. So we got 6 copper ingots, but they're not in the warehouse yet. Got ya. Right on. That's fine. Let me pause again. So back here to the overview. Let's come into our Nerd Night Outpost. Yeah, we didn't change any limits to production at all. And realizing now that I could have limited my water, so that way when they reached their limit, they would just stop. I didn't even play with this ticker. I did not even play with it. And really, I should have been. Here we are, Nerd Night Outpost. We've got a good number of people doing the different jobs that need to get done. Got a lot of laborers. Got an undertaker. I thought about putting in a second undertaker over in Nerd Night because, just in case it's a big city, to be able to handle, any of the excess deaths that might occur. And there was no need. So we got pioneers, settlers. We got plenty of settlers doing jobs. And then we got the merchants. And the merchants, I mean, everybody's got everything they need. They could stand and have some more water, but that's why I turned on the extra well. And of course, they got their coats. The settlers got their coats, and the pioneers got their clothing. I mean, and clothing's a little light. I could have worked on that. Let's see. Jump to city. Yep, I'm already here. So, looking at the town as an overview, I mean, we still have plenty in the iron mine. This guy's been toiling away in the iron mine since the start of the iron mine, and we're still only at 213 left. We've got the iron smelter's been cranking away on the iron, the coal and the iron ore, making the iron bars. I like the way that Depraved does that with the stacking of resources to get what you want. We finally built the fort, which is pretty cool. These graves in the cemetery are basically the bandits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, those are the bandits that had come over to attack Nerd Knight. They put a demand on Nerd Knight Outpost, and then they attacked Nerd Knight, which was their downfall, because I have a lot of armed citizens, and a lot of really capable citizens just walked over and beat the snot out of them. So that was pretty cool. There's my trade post. Yep. The distillery, making the liquor. Just making the liquor. Taking the potatoes and the water and making the liquor. So let's see what else we got. So let's look at these guys here. They're taking the corn and water for feed, and they're making the sheeps, which are producing the wool, which is then producing the clothing. And over here in the pig farm, again, we got water and wheat now, or water and corn. So let's look at this here: potatoes, corn, and wheat. What would I wonder if wheat? Yeah, soil quality still at 100% because they're rotating the crops. I wonder if wheat is what you fed the cattle. I had a cattle farm. I took it out. If you remember, we had a dire situation where all of my settlers were leaving, and my pioneers were getting upset and leaving. And thanks to Tony suggesting putting in the second tavern, the second saloon. Where's my first one? Over here. Putting in the second saloon and doubling down on the liquor production. Started to bring not only my pioneers back, and my pioneers who I don't believe even require. Yeah, pioneers don't even require liquor, but they started coming back, and then so did the settlers, and so that made a huge difference in being able to get things done. We got the bakery. That's what the wheat's for, the bakery. So the wheat goes to the mill. The mill makes the flour goes to the baker makes bread with flour, water, and the firewood. Awesome. That's what the wheat's for. Ha ha. And look, we got plenty of stocks of bread. I could sell some bread. I could sell a lot of bread. All right, anyways, so I mean, it was a successful playthrough. One of the things that I did wrong that I wish that I hadn't have done was when I was setting up the game, I guess I ticked the box to make wild animals friendly, so there were no wolf or bear attacks, and there should have been. I mean, just as a matter of course, there should have been bear attacks and wolf attacks, but there wasn't. And it is what it is. We're friendly with the animals. We just hunted them for meat, and they died for us, which is good, which is real good. Made it a little bit easier of a playthrough, a little too easy, if you ask me. But unlike Tony, who's mentioned some of the sizes of his towns that he's built, I did not make it super huge. I did not have all the things that he has gotten to. But then again, as I play these games on the channel, I play them. The day I record them is the only time I play them in the week. And so when I'm recording them, I'm basically playing the game with you guys. I don't play it outside of that, for the most part. Every once in a while, I'll go in and finish a project, so in the next recording, I can move on to something else. But pretty much, I play the day that we record. I never utilized the bank, but I could if I wanted to. Look at that. I can take out all this money, right? Look at that. Boom. Now, if I wanted to, I could come back in and pay back all that money. Boom. I've now just had a loan and paid it back in a single turn. But yeah, so you can take out a loan and it'll tell you what your interest rate is, and then if you needed to expand, really cool addition to it. When people were getting discontented with the crime possibility because of the attack on Nerd Knight by the bandit gang, I did throw in the gallows. just in case I had to hang somebody. But nobody got pissed off enough to be put in jail. So there's that. Yeah, I mean, look, we had a really good run through here in Nerd Night Outpost. Now, that being said, future playthroughs of Depraved will be when there are major updates. So if there's just bug fixes and things like that, I'm not gonna make a video of Depraved to talk about bug fixes. I might talk about the bug fixes in the American Truck Simulator chat and drive videos on Mondays. But if they add new buildings, which they're planning on adding a bunch of stuff, and they add new factions like the Indians and stuff that they're talking about, we'll come back in and we'll play it again. But we're gonna put Depraved down for a while. And what's going to take place here is we're going to still do Foundation coming up at 2 o'clock. Foundation will move to 1 p.m. on Thursdays to replace our beloved Depraved. And then we're going to have Anno 1800 at 2 p.m. on Thursdays. So when I do cover Depraved in updates and whatnot, it'll be on another day of the week most likely, unless, something major happens in Foundation or Anno that makes it unplayable. Look, I hope you guys enjoyed the building of Nerd Night. I hope you guys enjoyed the process that we went through of making Nerd Night and Nerd Night Outpost what it was. And I thank you guys for watching. I thank you for the views. Remember, if you like what you're watching, hit that like and subscribe button down below. Tell your family, tell your friends. You can watch the playlist that'll be on the end screen if you missed any of our episodes of Depraved. And yeah, stick around for more. Peace. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, check out the playlist above, or watch what YouTube tells you to on the right. Oh yeah, and subscribe.